Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to episode 95, scary that, of the AEW save on TW9. Join us for AEW Blood and Guts. We're at the Blue Cross Arena and I've already made a boo-boo because Eurosport India will not let me do Blood and Guts matches. I think I made that mistake the last time and I've done it again. So it's a 5-on-5 match basically. But hopefully still should be good. I've put some bumps in it just to try and give it a bit more of an aggressive manner. So last year, not even last year, June, we only got a 76. I'm expecting probably something similar here, just purely because it is a 5v5. There's some people that aren't maybe as over as I'd like, but there should be some very good stuff across the card, and then it can start to put a few things in the direction of Revolution. So we'll be looking to top that 76. It was Hangman, Moxley and Claudio, Pac and Utah, so the Death Riders and Hangman, and they faced Darby Allin, Sami Zayn, Johnny Gargano, who else was in the team? Lee Moriarty and Will Ospreay, so that was Team AEW at the time. God, I've fallen off a few of them at this point. But apart from that, there was some decent stuff on there. Water and Takeshita got an 87. Aussie Open defeating Undisputed Kingdom was an 84. And you can see there with just Becky against Chris, which was a 66. God, it's only 6 months ago. You've got AJ Styles in there. Kenny versus Swerve was an 82. Yeah, some really interesting stuff in there. Jesus, Kenta and Shibata, that tag team that was going to happen, that just never did. But looking forward to it. It's a stacked card. If you've been watching the series, you'll know the card. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Mostly matches, but there's a few angles and a few surprises. So relax, let's do it. Also, just to confirm, I am absolutely loaded with the flu, so I may snivel a little bit. Just a heads up. So just short of 10,000 in attendance at the Blue Cross Arena, and we start the show with two of our mega stars in the company, two mega entrances for the babyfaces, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. So we're starting off with a matchup between Swerve and Ospreay against Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita. So a good segment here, gets us an 88, which is encouraging stuff, because we need good angles, because our main event may not be the best matchup. And we start the show with a bout that had some superb wrestling and great heat. The team of Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher defeated Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay in 28 minutes and 6 when Kyle Fletcher pinned Ospreay with the Grimstone via Don Callis interference. So I felt like it was a massive opportunity to get a big win on Kyle Fletcher. You can see here the wrestling was a 91 and the segment was an 83. Their storyline advanced and gained heat. They all had great performances. The weakest were Swerve and Fletcher with 89 and 93s for Ospreay and Takeshita. The creative finish was a success, just massively hampered by the lack of psychology. So that's fine. That's a start that's going to develop over time. And let's be honest, these are four cornerstones of probably the future of the company. So hopefully that develops over time. Next up was about that had some superb wrestling and great heat. Kazuchika Okada defeated Ilya Dragunov in 32 minutes and 4, so 1 hour for the first two matches, by pinfall with the Rainmaker. And we made this the epic match in the eyes of the fans, giving Okada his first defence of the international title. So in this one, the wrestling was a 93, the crowd is 78, and the segment was an 85. Their storyline advances and gains heat. Dragunov brought a 91, Okada brought a 96. So good stuff there. Negatives here, I'm assuming it'll be physical condition and the low storyline heat. So storylines that I haven't got as over as we'd like are probably going to hamper a few things here, but overall, pretty good stuff. Next up, and about had some superb wrestling and good heat. Darby Allin defeats Jon Moxley in a Texas death match in 23:46 when Jon Moxley was pinned with a coffin drop and then he couldn't beat the 10 count. Darby Allin makes the second defence of the Continental Championship. So these two have meshed really well, because you look at this one, both guys get a 93, they have a psychology penalty, and the creative finish was a success, and they've pretty good chemistry, both guys taking crazy bumps, and they still, despite that penalty, got a 90. So I'm intrigued to know if one of them had the psychology to carry it over 83, 84, how good this could have been. That certainly surprised me, but good stuff there. Interesting if anyone takes an injury from it, and just the negativity was the physical condition of both guys and the psychology, and pretty fitting that the road agent for the match was Mick Foley. Bang bang. We then see Jon Moxley being put in an ambulance after his hellacious match with Darby Allin, His wife Renee Paquette looks deeply concerned and is joining him in the ambulance. Simple, effective, 67. Just shows you the lengths that him and Darby went to. Next up, another 90, and it was about to have superb wrestling and good heat, as Walter defeated Rush in the 3802 with a lariat. This one was also designed to be an epic. I gave them plenty of time because I feel like this could just be an absolute banger. And of course, Walter wouldn't take any of Rush's shit. But a 89 for the wrestling, a 90 segment, both guys with good performances, and a storyline that gained heat. Honestly, the temptation to run it back because that looks phenomenal. Negatives here: Walter's physical condition, Rush's psychology, struggling with a slow build, the slow storyline heat, and his stamina. So this honestly could have pushed a lot higher if you get a bit of heat in there and you don't have the slow build. So good stuff though. And annoyingly I didn't put, oh sorry, there's not even a title on the line actually. Never mind, ignore that. Next up, About the had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Ricochet and Ua defeated Cope and Christian Cage and FTR in 1820 when Ricochet pinned Christian Cage with a 630 splash following her second managerial interference of the night, as it was Paul Heyman who made the decisive interference and it gave Ricochet and Ua the sixth defence of the AEW World Tag Team titles. So overall, 80 for wrestling and a 75 segment. I just feel it's too early still to take the titles off them, as much it would be good to give it to FTR with the form they're on, but a good performance at Ua's 75, Ricochet's 91. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where we go in our tag division next. And Paul Heyman rushes to the ring and gathers the titles, and he, Ricochet and Ua bolt out of there. They have stolen one tonight and survive as World Tag Team Champions. 75. I'm pretty much in a position where Ricochet can carry himself, but Ua I'm still not too confident in. But Heyman's there to help. Quick promo from Chris Statlander. She says, "Tonight is my night, my opportunity to win the AEW Women's Championship. I will show that I can compete and defeat the great Mercedes Moné. She has her numbers in the Moné Corporation, and I have my plan to equal that." So 66, and we'll just turn Chris babyface here, which was a complete success, because this is going to be a mess. And I didn't take Stokely out, and there was something I meant to do. Damn it. Anyway, good matchup. Mercedes Moné defeats Chris Statlander in 21-27 by submission, with a bank statement following interference from King Kota. During the matchup, we also had Roxy distract Statlander, and this gives Mercedes her 8th defence of the Women's World title. So a 73 for wrestling, 74 crowd, 78 segment, Chris with a 70, a 76 from Mercedes. The two debuts get an initial rating of poor for their gimmicks, which is a shame. The storyline continues, and I need to remember to get rid of Stokely because he has nothing to do with Stat anymore. Few negatives there, but I'll explain it. In this segment here, is this what Mercedes meant? Where Roxy and King Kota meant to help Chris, but have changed their alliance to the Moné Corporation, thus expanding the numbers. And this is a 60-rated segment. You can see there Mercedes was fantastic, Bayley was fantastic, Nixon Newell was masterful, improvising their interactions. But yeah, I think Chris Statlander is expecting some people to debut and help, and instead they've joined the Moné Corporation. So that becomes a stable of 6. Lots to break that group with. Next up was the Trios Championships on the line, and this was a decent matchup that saw the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Powerhouse Hobbs defeat the Undisputed Kingdom, Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly in 13:37 when Bobby pinned Kyle with a spear. Still a show matchup, and we have new Trios champions as the Hurt Syndicate. You can see in terms of ring performances, one of the better ones from Adam Cole was 82. Some solid stuff there from, I'd probably say, Powerhouse Hobbs as well. But yeah, 75 overall. No champs. Next up with Samoa Joe in the ring. He's pacing around the ring. Who is going to be the challenger? It's Mark Briscoe. And he ain't backing down from nobody. So a man on a mission, Mark Briscoe. Obviously with some big wins in 2025. And he's looking to capture the TNT Championship here. And their matchup was a wild brawl. And it had some good heat and decent wrestling. And I had Mark Briscoe defeat Samoa Joe in 14:50 by using the ropes for leverage, meaning new champ alert, new TNT champion, Mark Briscoe. So I feel like with what I've done with Briscoe so far, it was time to give him a championship. And I feel like Samoa Joe can put him anywhere in the card. He's still going to look strong. Disappointing only a 64. I thought the Royal Brawl would have benefited Briscoe, but not to be. But those two had good chemistry. And the 73 is okay. Yeah, good stuff. Mark Briscoe. We then moved on to the TBS Championship, and it was a decent matchup that saw Mariah May defeat Queen Aminata at 11:50 by submission with an octopus stretch. This was our storytelling matchup of the evening, and these two brought a very impressive performance considering that it's the third defence of the TBS Championship for Mariah May. Too early for her to lose the belt, and a 72 segment overall is pretty good. Overall, yeah, I'm happy with that one. I think it had a small temptation to put the belt on Aminata, but I feel like I can hold off a wee bit longer before going ahead with that. We then have our over-the-top entrances for our co-main event, I believe, which is of course between Bryan Danielson and Jay White for the AEW World Championship. They get an 87, so they get the world storyline advancing, they get an angle idea, and yeah, pretty solid stuff. How will the matchup do? 88. Wow. So this one was a superb match. Bryan Danielson defeats Jay White in 34-27 by submission with cattle mutilation. This was designed to be an engrossing, story-driven spectacle that was slowly built up through psychology and worked towards a dramatic conclusion. And Bryan Danielson makes defence number 3 of the AEW World title. If we can just look for everything, so 84 wrestling, 80 crowd, 88 segment. Bryan did an 86, Jay did an 83, storyline advanced and gains heat. The Bryan Danielson creative finish was a success. Bryan Danielson and Jay White don't click. You guys have just put together an 88 and you don't click. I'm scared to think what they would have got if they clicked. But that's a shame. So that means it's not really going to be a long-term program. But yeah, just negatives. Obviously, them not clicking. Low heat. I thought it was good heat in that storyline. The worker chemistry and physical conditions. So yeah, that could have been quite a high 90. Interesting. I think we just jumped straight to the main event. So let's see how it goes. I think I'll get maybe about a 75 if we're lucky. But pay-per-view is called Blood and Guts. It's got the main event. Okay, that massively over-delivered. Not going to lie, did not expect that. A good bout, good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. The team of MJF, Wheeler Yuta, Wardlow, Ricky Starks and Gabe Kidd defeated Hangman, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, who made it, and the Young Bucks, and I just made it Stadium Stampede in 24-18. So we'll pretend it was Blood and Guts by Stadium Stampede. That's maybe why it benefited us. MJF wins by illegally using the ropes for leverage on a pin on Kota Ibushi. So 72 wrestling, 63 crowd, 88 segment. Only a 79 for Nick, a 63 for Matt, a 54 for Kota, Kenny 92, Hangman 91. Even on the heel side, 72 Gabe, 71 Ricky, 62 Wardlow, 62 Yuta, 78 MJF. But the storyline advances and gains heat. Creative finish was a success. Yuta took a crazy bump, which probably helped it. Ibushi was penalised. Matt Jackson was off his game. And the values of the cinematic match style. Oh well, I've kind of locked in with that one. Negatives wise, there's going to be a lot. A lot of physical conditions in there. Declining physical ambition. Yep. Adequate gimmick and cinematic. Low heat. I'm intrigued to know what that would have got. I think if it was definitely Blood and Guts, it would have been a lot worse. But I think we've probably locked in there. But yeah, MJF gets the last laugh on Hangman. We finished the show. It's all over. The decisive fall falls to MJF, who's overcame Team Hangman. He staggers to his feet with the help of his teammates and the referee, whilst he is a bloody mess. He looks concussed, but he flips off the fans as he celebrates. This was an angle idea as well, which was a success. So yeah, we're fully going in with MJF. It means Hangman can't get his hands on him now, and we'll move MJF onto a fresh new program. Show rating, I think we'll go low 90s here, I think, with the boosts, of course. We're not exactly short of cash. 93, as expected. As I say, there's a lot of good stuff there. The main event and the promos were good. I actually feel that middle of the show was kind of a bit average, but last couple of stuff, first couple of matches especially, we can be really, really happy with that one. But it sets us up with a few new champions and a few decent programs going forwards. As I say, I've got a full month to build stuff to Revolution. and there's stuff that I'll need to obviously carry on to that one. So, address the locker room, I think we'll just go with MJF. I think we'll go with Rush, if I can find them. We'll just make those two the praised. No injuries, which considering we've done that many bumps, I'm quite happy with. Financial report, 85 million, it's just about a cheat code at this point. Popularity, I don't think we're going to gain much more than that because of the shows we're producing. You'll actually probably see us lose pop, I'd imagine, in most TV shows. And our media scrum, Mark Briscoe deserves a run as champion. Io Shirai didn't appear. Just want to give her a little break. She's an important. Same with Becky Quinn. Things haven't gone well for AEW in the US market. I still haven't caught up with WWE, which is mental. But as I say, we'll still continue to put on our best shows. Do you have any comments about Roxy winning Young Wrestler of the Year? I'm pleased for her. She's definitely young best wrestler in the world. Tommy Billington, glad he's having a good time. But I'm really, really happy with who we've been able to steal from WWE. One of the big things I wanted to do is a massive women's division, and as much as I always say I want 100 rated matches, I'd love to nail a few 100 rated matches in our women's division as well, whether that be through this save or through my offline save as well. Offline I'm putting like a real effort into it, like because I've got a bit more time with that, I've got like a 3-hour women's show to help develop and give them matches, so hopefully there's some that have got a bit more overness in this save, so I'm hoping that can kind of help us here. So fantastic reviews for the show, which is good to see. Dean Malenko leaves the business, few people out on loan to CMLL, and Javon Evans and Kelly Kincaid get call-ups to the main WWE roster. News items, just tell us about Dean Malenko. We should get Konami, pretty convinced in that one. Mina Shirakawa leaves Marigold. 33 million people viewed Blood and Guts. Leon Slater, I don't have anything for you. I mean, I'll bring him up, but if you're cutting about doing nothing, mate, that's not on me. We've obviously had a good time in TNA, and well, there you go. This pop was not massive. I wonder if that's through that or through his ROH stuff, because a lot of people from ROH is kind of in that position where they want up. So, you know what? I think because the developmental report says that he can work on stuff, I'll just keep him down. He can moan a bit more. Renewals for Riccaboni and for Anthony Bones. Perfect stuff. Looking to extend Myron Reed, who I believe we have in developmental. No, we're just hiring them for developmental. My bad. Lance Archer, smaller Savage retiring in. And obviously we know about Konami. But yeah, overall, very, very happy with that. As you see, our next pay-per-view is Revolution in 27 days. So we've got plenty of time to get there. I've got a rough idea of a few matches, but there is still stuff that is going to be on the fly. But I hope you enjoyed it. A wee thumbs up would be appreciated. Let us know how your own TW saves are getting on. As remember, check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdb.com, and bethebooker.net. And I'll see you in a few days as we begin that road to Revolution. Take it easy. Bye bye.